Hey guys, I know we've been offline for a while. The reason is because Alex has been depressed lately. And actually, it started soon after our last broadcast. She had a party for her daughter's 10th birthday on, let's see, we're in September, we're the middle of September. It happened around the middle of August. Her daughter's birthday was August the 12th, and they had a big party with about 50 guests, adults and kids, and a big water slide out front. And it seemed like in the couple days leading up to the party, Alex was a little bit anxious, about the details. Whenever you have a party in your own home, you really want everything to be perfect, and she was stressing a little bit about it. But everything got done, and the Saturday of the party, she seemed fine. So the party was a big success. Everybody showed up. The kids had a great time. Jose and I took the opportunity to head to Austin after the party was over because we haven't seen our son and his kids and daughter-in-law and their kids in Austin for some time. So we went there, and in the morning, Sunday morning, Alex called me, and she was like, there's all these kids here. The parents aren't picking them up in time. The house is a big wreck. She was just starting to feel out of control, and everything began to implode. They got the house, the kids got picked up, and the house got cleaned up, but it still didn't alleviate what was happening with her. So for the next 2 weeks, Alex was able to continue functioning like normal, taking the kids to school, picking them up from school, doing household chores and light cooking, just stuff, normal, everyday stuff. She was continuing to do, seeing her therapist, exercising, and etc. as she could. But after about the 2 week mark, she went from bad to worse, and she was refusing to talk to us, and I called it her. She was giving us the silent treatment, or she was on a silent retreat, and even then, so it was on a weekend. Mauricio called and said, "Hey, she's not talking. She won't get out of bed. I think she needs to go to the hospital." At that point, I said, "I'll be right over," because we've done the hospital thing many times, and it's there are things, relevant things, and irrelevant things that go on in the hospital, and we know about all of it. We've done that too many times. So I was like, "I'm going to come and get her. We're going to do this from home this time," and so I did. Through the course of those 2 weeks, several things happened. The doctor appointment that we had soon after she came to stay over here, I explained to him Alex wasn't talking, so the appointment was really me and the doctor, and Alex was there. But I explained to him that, she had been still doing ECT, plus she was on like 4 to 6 different medications. And I explained to the psychiatrist that she was having tremors on her left side and memory loss. And then she was having some women's issues related to these medications. She had been on these meds for some time, and what happens is, like, they help, and then they reach a plateau, and then they start to hurt, and toxicity occurs, and she was extremely constipated, and all the side effects that they talk about, and all the side effects they talk about, the last one that they always say is death. And so you really have to moderate all those things. So during the course of that conversation, he he decided that it would be okay if she quit ECT, which, that was what I was advocating for. And then he was slowly going to take her off the medications that she was on. He didn't tell me what the plan was going to be, but he did start the process of weaning her off of the medication, which can also cause, effects, good or bad. It's like cold turkey. And so that was one of the things that was occurring. So for the next 2 weeks, she was getting off of the old medication, not going to ECT, and getting on 2 new medications called Caplyta, which is good for mood stabilization, and it's also an antipsychotic, and it's a new medication. Caplyta works well with Prozac, and so as she was weaning down from the other medications, he started the Caplyta, continued to wean down, and then added the Prozac. At the moment, she's on the Caplyta in a very low dose of Prozac, just 20 milligrams. Also, during the course of those 2 weeks, she saw her neuro-oncologist. She had her regular MRI that she gets for her brain scan, and then she saw her neuro-oncologist, which he was concerned that because she had had a couple of seizures. Keep in mind, she'd been having the ECT this whole time, which induces a seizure, and she had the tremors on the left-hand side. And so they decided to keep her on the anti-seizure medication that she was on and add another one. These are the 4 medications that she's on now, the 2 anti-seizure medications and the 2 bipolar medications. So she's been on those for about a week and a half. And so for these 2 weeks that she's been with us, we've been going to the gym every day, getting on a good diet to try and get that constipation worked out, as well as we saw a gastroenterologist who prescribed some medication for that. And, weaning off of the medication. We've been doing diet, exercise, and drinking a lot of water. We would go to the gym most every morning and do my routine. So, I just transferred my routine to Alex, and she was very cooperative about doing an hour on the treadmill. We read a book, just the, light fiction, and read as we're walking on the treadmill. And in that way, we're able to do an hour without a lot of stress. It just takes your mind out of it, and you just do it. And by the end of an hour, you barely realize that you've done it. We do some light weights, stretching, and drink a lot of water, and then usually go to lunch. Now, there was one day where we were on the treadmill, and Alex just turned hers off and began to walk out the door. I had to call Jose, and he came and picked us up a couple blocks away. So in order to close that gap and keep Alex safe, which is a big thing that we have to do when she's staying at home, is keep her safe. And we call it, she's on lockdown. So somebody's with her all the time. Pretty much that's me. For this gym, for an exercise to work, I needed somebody to help me. And so we asked her mother-in-law to come. And so the 3 of us would get on the treadmill together, me, Alex in the middle, and Josefina on the other side. And that way we're able to, keep her safe and be, gentle about it and loving in the way we go about things. That's our goal, to do things in a gentle and loving way, but also close all these gaps that might cause us problems. So a couple days ago, Alex started talking. We didn't know what prompted it, but, we went out to dinner that night, she and I and Jose, and she was making eye contact and talking with us about some things to do with our insurance, which she always did for the company, and she knows a lot about. She would put her hand on Jose's shoulder or put her hand on my shoulder which is very like her. And of course, even when she's not talking and we go out, she has to talk to the waiter to order food and drinks and stuff like that. So this night on Thursday night when we were at dinner, we had a nice conversation. She was hugging us lightly, sort of like one arm around the shoulder, and she did say, "I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad." Those were all really good signs, and so the next day she was going to go and stay with her family, which of course her kids have been missing her terribly. So she did that. She went to her house, spent the night there. They had what they call a sleepover, where they all sleep in the same bed, and the kids were really happy about that. But the next day, apparently, she quit talking again. She did quit talking again, and apparently, what had happened was she had been saying that she wanted to go get her own apartment and live by herself because she doesn't know how to love anybody anymore. She doesn't want to be around them under those circumstances. And so Mauricio had been, I guess, sort of playing along with that because she didn't really talk to me about that. Apparently all week she had been talking to him about this apartment by text. And on Saturday morning, when she said that about when was she going to get her own apartment, he said, well, on September 31st. And he said, go ahead and put that on the calendar. And when she went to look at the calendar, there is no September 31st. So when that happened, she decided to quit talking again. And that's where we are today. Today's Sunday. We don't know what the day is going to bring, but hopefully we will be able to slowly help her to come out of this. Also, like I said, she's on that low dose of Prozac. We'll probably be seeing the doctor soon, and my thoughts are that he will raise that dose. The other things I would like her to do starting in the near future are EMDR, which is eye movement therapy. A lot of people have had a lot of success processing trauma with EMDR, and it's completely non-invasive. I've read, testimonials and also talked to friends, and a couple of them have had a lot of success with it. The other thing I would like for her to do through these, where she's at her baseline and also when she goes low, I think that a support group would be really, really helpful to get her through all periods. You establish a relationship with the people. They have similar issues, and so they get each other through. You get each other through those times. What would be ideal is if we could find one for bipolar and brain trauma. So if anybody out there knows of a group like that, it can be virtual or in person, we would love to hear about that. All along the way, we've had so many people helping with, just talking to us, just support, general support, but also with prayer. And all around the world, people love Alex. Venezuela, there's tons of people in Venezuela that are praying for her and that contact her all the time. When she's, herself at her base level, she responds to them. When she's not, she just doesn't even answer. We have, relatives in South Carolina and Pittsburgh and a slew of people here in Houston. Can't thank you guys enough for all your support and listening to me when I need to vent about different things. So the thread that has brought us through all of this, I believe, is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. All along the way, there are small and big miracles. There are hardships and heart-wrenching, times that I haven't even gone into, but The truth is that there would be no way to get through this without him. And I know that he's here with us today. In fact, it's Sunday morning. We're getting ready to watch church online. So I'll head off to do that and get Alex up. Love you guys. Peace.